All right, citizens of the Reject Nation, leave a like on this video. Leave a super like on this video. Because today, Coy, he's going to be doing a crazy ranking here. We got 17 Superman suits. I've seen this request come in quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of strange. I don't know if that means there'll be, comments can be deceiving. Sometimes you get a lot of requests and you're like, wow, this is going to blow up. Never mind.
All 7 people that requested
passionate
it
20
sure did watch the video.
I don't know. It's an experiment. Let's find out. Now that the Superman movie is coming out or is out, I don't know when we're uploading this.
Sure.
Might as well. Let's find out.
I'm very curious how this goes over because I have strong opinions about more than half of these.
Really?
It's a lot.
So we're doing the live action. I don't have much of an opinion here. I'm here to just help Coy give his opinion because there's a TV show and the movies. And when it comes to suits, I'm like, cool, good, cool, good. I don't really have much specificity I can really provide.
All right.
I'm here to just serve my man Coy. All right, Coy. You want to kick it off at number 17?
Let's do number 17.
What's number 17 on your beautiful list here?
All right, coming in at number 17 is the Justice League suit of Henry Cavill for a lot of reasons. I think what we started with got modified in an aggressively misled direction. I think it does a lot. I think it's got a lot of detailing that is excessive. I think Henry Cavill worked out way too hard to have that much external augmentation.
Looks a little Batman and Robin-y.
It definitely is just shy of nipples.
Yeah.
It's it looks artifice, and Henry Cavill is too good a Superman physique to have to do that.
Yeah.
So that drives me crazy. The lack of red on the bottom half always looks weird to me. It's just kind of like a void, and then the painted on abs
like a
plus
naked Ken doll.
Yeah, he just kind of looks like a naked mole rat with an S on him. So it's unfortunate for Cavill, who deserves better.
Yeah.
It's gonna be number 17 for me.
Wow. Yeah, I agree, Coy.
All right.
I fully share all these same opinions. Oh, it just dawned on me. You don't ever see David Corenswet with a shirt off.
No, and he's yoked.
Wow, that's rare. That's what I should have asked James Gunn.
Okay, where was the shirtless shot? That's how they distinguish themselves from Marvel. No gratuitous shirtless shot.
No, certainly, because you were saying that about Henry, and
Yeah.
let's not bring it out. But I mean, wow, that's crazy.
Well, now we have to drop this after Superman, so we don't spoil the lack of shirtless shot.
Yeah, what a spoiler. All right, Coy, it's number 16 on your list here.
Number 16, this is going to be a little controversial, as I'm sure the last one wasn't, is going to be Tyler Hoechlin's Supergirl suit, because this one's the opposite reason. The last one was it devolved by adding too many layers. This was our first impression, and it had a different problem where, to me, it was, oh, we were so close. It's the too close to perfect, the one major thing that distracts you. Two major things. One is the clasps of the suit is so distractingly out of place. The way the cape actually mounts to the suit distracts away from the insignia, takes away from the sigil. It brings his shoulders looking narrow. It has a wrong vibe. And then again, the red breaking up all the blue is better, but it calls attention to the lack of tights.
Do you feel like it needed tights? Do you think if there were tights, it would have fixed it?
If there were bold, like a boxer length, something that mid-thigh, I wouldn't notice the clasps as much.
Okay.
So it's close, but I think sometimes when you're close to perfect and it's not, that's worse than being bad.
It does look like a CW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that really, it looks less nice than I know it can be. It looks inexpensive, and I don't like that.
None of this is a commentary on any of the actors' performances, by the way.
Or the costume designers working with the budget they had.
Or the movies themselves.
Yeah.
It is literally just the costume. Just costume.
And this is from a comic book perspective. I've never seen the show.
I know, and that disappoints me.
I'm sorry. I read so many comics instead.
I've never seen Supergirl, but Superman and Lois, though, that one's so good.
I auditioned for Toyman and Supergirl back when I was an actor.
Aww.
Yeah, made it pretty far. Could have been in Supergirl.
Reject Nation, I'm going to interrupt this video just for a tiny bit to tell you that we were so inspired by this movie, it suddenly got our creative juices flowing, and now we suddenly have 3 new inspired tees at rejectnationshop.com. Can't wait to share them with you guys. The first one up right here, Being Kind is Punk Rock. You might have heard a few of us already talking about that theme of punk rock, and being kind is such a big part of the heart of this movie, and I'm so glad that we got Alyssa Be Crazy to design this for us. It is a fantastic representation of love the vibes and the fun of this film, and of course the theme as well. Another one that we got, the Kryptone sunscreen from the mind of Aaron Alexander. Artists Joanne and Alyssa Be Crazy combined their efforts here. It is a throwback to that classic sunscreen design, but I feel like it is so emblematic of the type of vibe that Krypto and Superman have in this movie together. And the third one, weirdly, personally, my favorite. Hi, my name is Gary. If you guys have seen the movie, you get the reference. And for some reason, it ended up being my favorite one. I absolutely love it. And I hope you guys love either one of these. If you're able to buy any one of them, it is an amazing way to support the channel, support the artists here as well. You get a lot of weird monetization issues. I've heard many YouTubers probably talk about it, and it is a very real thing. So it's a great way to offset some of it, and hopefully you guys get something in return that you enjoy rocking. And it's the way you become a righteous reject. So become a righteous reject today by buying any one of these tees. I can't wait to be wearing these throughout the year, and I hope you guys can't wait to be wearing them as well. Thank you so much. We're going to go back to the video now. Well, what's your number 15 then, Coy?
Number 15 is going to be Brendan Routh's Superman Returns, and this is another case of so close. I think the muted colors don't quite work. I think the shade of red is a little too deep. It doesn't pop off the blue. Like, the blue is bright and the red is dark in a way that I think is not a good juxtaposition. I think the S insignia is a little bit askew, like the thickness. It's got like a little too much girth in some areas and not enough in others. And my biggest problem, man, that European Speedo.
It's Speedo-y. I was just thinking
man.
that, yeah.
That's the biggest thing. It's literally just a banana hammock. It's a red banana hammock, and that's not quite right. So now we finally have the tights, but it's not the right ratio. Like, this is how that can go wrong, and it looks like, you know, it'd be a G-string in the back.
Yeah, it looks a little try-hard. Like,
yeah.
we want to be Christopher Reeve, but
I mean, that's the movie.
How do we modern it?
Right.
You know, and instead of finding a lane to
coming
really
after
go down.
X-Men, definitely modernizing, but making a Superman 3. It didn't land either one.
Wow.
And the texture's a little odd.
Don't worry, guys. At some point on this list, we will have the Brandon Routh from the Crisis suit. It comes up here on the list at some point. All right. Who's next on your list here?
All right, we're starting to get into the positives. I've been a little negative because, you know, the list has to start somewhere. This is going to be one that a lot of people might not know.
I didn't even know who the hell this was when we brought it up in here. I'm like, who?
You've never heard of this show?
I had never heard of this show.
I think technically a TV
or
movie. Yeah,
movie?
It was 1948 and 1950. I don't know if they got theatrical releases. I know I had a Superman versus the Mole Man, and then these two movies on a burned CD when I was growing up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so these, I don't know if this was on movie or TV because I was negative 38 in 1950. So 1948 and 1950s, Kirk Alyn Superman. This gets some serious brownie points for making a suit that looks like a suit that walks that line of costume cosplay, but it's on the right side of it. It's on the correct side of it, especially for 1950. I like the boldness of the color in black and white. I like that you can feel the energy. It's got like good aura, as the kids say, and it's got the right ratio and the right color dynamic. Like, the colors are the right color for each other. Like, the yellow and blue and the yellow and red all seem to work, and I think the outside underoos is the right ratio.
Yeah, that is where my eye first went to. All this conversation about the underwear, I've never actually really fully considered until David Corenswet and James Gunn started talking about it. But that is some good underwear.
That is quality work right there.
It's big underwear, but it's good. It's good fitting for him.
I honestly think the wrestling element of showmanship of what Superman is to ease people out of him being a big scary monster with too many powers is tied to the underwear. I think for me, this stands, the S of the curl stands for a endearing time in America. I think this stands for his family and what he represents to himself. I think the cape represents heroes of a certain time, a golden age sensibility. I think the tights represent a reaching out to make sure he's not taking himself too seriously. And I think the colors represent the American ideal. So to me, it's like a sunrise in the costume, the yellow, the red, the blue, a blue sky where he came up in Kansas. The fact that he's wearing a cape is like all of it means something to me.
Do you usually dissect or feel this way about the association with colors or patterns with most superhero suits? Because I don't actually do any of this.
I do with characters I care enough about. Like, if I stop and think about a character, I could tell you the instinct that I've never verbalized, but certain characters I have thoughts on. Like, I think Superman with outside, Underwear is a different character than Superman. I mean, Batman without it. Like, Batman is the same. Like, I'd have a whole monologue about the shape of an S versus the bat outside of the circle. Like, I've got lots of thoughts. Spider-Man, same way. Like, the density of the webs, like, matters to me. And they all say a different thing. But, like, if you ask me about... I like Blue Beetle, but I've never thought as deeply about Blue Beetle's costume.
Yeah.
So, like, Superman I've thought a lot about.
And also, it seems like, depending on where the origin of the suit's from, Mom made it, he made it. Krypton, if it's from Krypton directly. So, because as you're saying, Spider-Man, I'm like, oh yeah, that's one of the issues that people often have, myself included, is that it feels like too sleek, like it doesn't feel like homemade. So you want to, and I'm like, oh yeah, I do gravitate more towards when it feels homemade.
Which is interesting because people say that's the same Raimi. Yeah, but you don't think about it until you get asked.
It's something that I feel like for audiences, most of this is like a subconscious thing.
Yeah, and that's why I think people wanted this video. But I'm curious now if people actually want to hear these things.
Maybe. I don't know. You're making it more interesting for me than I expected. Who's next on your list, buddy?
Next up, we got the Dean Cain suit from the rom-com TV series where Superman and Lois, that was the forefront. Like, the Daily Planet was the main setting. Their relationship was front and center. Dean Cain's is really interesting because I think the colors are pretty pitch perfect. I think the colors are amazing, but it's not higher on the list because the S is his whole torso.
It is a messed up S.
It's like navel to chest, but I really liked this suit because this made the universe work. Like, if the suit is so bold choices in a sitcom kind of sing. This suit only works in sitcom. Like, if this suit was in a different tone or drama, it wouldn't work with that big of an S. But it gave people something to film. It gave, like, the flying scenes and the jumping and all that stuff, like, a nice anchor point. I really like this suit. And I also think the boldness of kind of like the V cut, like the lower neck. Yeah. I think that works too.
I don't know, man. That S
is real big.
The thing is, like, it looks like it's patched on.
It's also a little crooked.
You know? And, like, the fact that it looks like someone sewed it on.
So you don't like the homemade on this?
If you think about, like, a design, like, if my shirt says reject right now. If the reject is too big, and when I sit, if it expands too much, you want it to be, like, just right center. You know?
So you're having an underwear problem.
It looks like he'll sit, his suit can curl up, and then he'll have this, like, extended patch out of it. Yeah.
So is this the first one you think should be lower?
It's the first one I have an opinion about.
Oh, wait, hey, that's how big and bold it is.
Other than good underwear, good color. Like, I actually have a little gripe here that I would like to express.
All right, so Dean Cain lower for you.
Lower for me.
All right, and again, not about Dean Cain's performance, it's about the suit we just see.
I think the suit should be all red. He should have an alt red suit. And a right. You know where I'm going with this?
Is it a hat? And the next suit is an all-black suit. This is going to be Tyler Hoechlin's all-black suit from the Elseworld era of his show, Lois and Superman. This suit, I think, is really close to perfect as well. I love the pop of the insignia. I love the sigil and how it sits. But even in black and white, I do notice I'm drawn to the clasps. Like, I see the clasps around the sigil.
It does look a little bit like an airplane thingy.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like strapped in. Yeah.
I feel like he's on an amusement park ride. Like, I feel like we're
exactly.
like Six Flags.
He's like strapped into something. Yeah.
So, like, it really is close. It would be higher if those were a little different tonally. But I really like the suit. It's just how you put on a cape is very important.
Yeah, that's true. Huh.
What number is that?
It does look a little bit Neo-y wannabe with...
I mean, I love a Neo, but...
I love a Neo, too.
Yeah, it's just not quite there.
But I do remember seeing this in action, and it was pretty cool when it was in action. When it was actually a movement and the way they kept... That's the thing, a lot of times these do change when you're watching it in the context, and within the context, I remember really enjoying it.
And also, I love that the black suit has a canonical reason for existing. Like, I love that, the sun and solar power, and also the white suit for the same reason, like in the comics.
Who's next, buddy?
Next up, we've got Henry Cavill's Superman
Whoa,
suit.
He's low on the list here.
This is halfway or about.
Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7?
7 of 17.
We got 10 more to go.
So he just barely made the top 10. 17.
Wow. You're just trying to ruffle some feathers here, buddy.
No, I don't like the oblique lines. I think those are weird. I get that it's a Kryptonian suit made in Krypton, but like they feel distracting. I think the muted color it suits this universe, but I don't think it suits Superman. So I think starting with a muted, blanched out suit kind of sets the tone for the feelings. And I think when you asked me a few suits ago if I thought of the suit, if that affects my experience, this kind of ties into my experience of I didn't feel the heat or chemistry with Superman and Lois. I didn't feel relationships. all of my memories of my positives in the movie are very vibrant, like frames and shots and emotions. All of my worst connections are feeling muted. The suit is muted. Like the feel of everything. Like it's a vibrant character, and it just isn't how I perceive the character. So the suit kind of represents that.
But in movement, cape flap. I think Snyder really got cape flap down.
I think the first flight is incredible. I think first flight moment is so special. I think cape flap's great. I think Cavill's great. I think the colors do work with each other. They're just too dark for Superman for me. And I think the texture is a little odd, like the basketball texture.
So, yeah, I mean, it kind of looks a bit like a diving suit. But outside of that, the part that bothered me in movement in this movie, and it actually comes from my favorite fight scene in all of Superman movies, the Smallville fight. As a hairy guy, I feel like I can say this. It distracts me when I see his chest hair popping through
the top.
Yeah, it's a little distracting.
Like a bit much. But
I don't know why. I like hairy Superman
because Superman's hairy.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind it hairy, but I feel like when you're wearing the suit, I shouldn't see any hair popping through.
It'd be so hard to trim that though. Like, what would you use? Like
I feel like you can. Oh, you mean like within
like
context
actually
of
in the
actual
context of Superman?
I'm like Henry Cavill. He's
no. How is dude?
Because then it makes it look like it's not fully fitting to me. Yeah, but when this looks so tight on him.
I've always liked the image of Superman using his laser vision to shave, and I just imagine him like getting all of his first suit putting on. But like, I don't know if he'd take the time. I don't know if he would.
That's fair. All right.
All right, top 10. Coming in at number 10 is a favorite suit. And by the way, we just did 11, and that we had to go through those other 6. There is a lot of good in the Man of Steel suit, but those are the flaws I had. George Reeves' Superman suit is our top 10. Coming in at number 10. Iconic, immediately recognizable, beautiful shades of red and yellow. I like that the red of the bottoms looks vibrant, but also like can be more subdued depending on the lighting. I like that the blue feels very like Americana. I really like the ratio. I think the boots are perfect ratio to the undies. I think the S is the right size.
Great. Good
like
S,
that looks like a drawing. Like this looks like, and it's so Superman. So George Reeves is top 10.
Yeah, damn. I've never seen any of the George Reeves episodes. Have you?
I've seen a few, not a lot. I've seen probably like 6 or 7, and it's great, man. It's so like fun and of the time.
Yeah, the chest plate actually pops.
It really, and it's the right ratio when he sits and stuff.
Yeah, that's what Dean Cain needed a little bit of a note on that. All right, who's next up here?
Next up is one that a lot of people would not have on any of their list, but I think is a great suit.
Never heard of this.
This is Gerard Christopher's Superman suit. There was a Superboy show that recast its lead after one season. This is that show. This is that suit. So this is Superman. Like, the dude's a little skinny, but if we're judging the suit, if someone bigger was in this suit, it'd be perfect. But I can't imagine that fully.
It's a pretty good suit,
like,
though. Damn,
it
it's
looks
surprisingly, it's actually a really good, it's pretty good ratio.
And this is 90s, 80s. This was a while ago. We hadn't gotten this era of like, making super suits. I like the texture. I like that it doesn't look homemade, but it also doesn't look like a swimsuit. I don't personally love everything looking like a basketball. I think that this looks like Superman immediately, but it looks elevated from a Halloween costume. Like it's that fine line that I think it walks. The yellows really pop, and I love yellow on Superman. I think this is great.
Yeah, and even though the underwear is a little bit tight, it actually symmetrically wise with the rest of the suit fits.
It's the right amount down the leg. I think the issue with the Brandon Routh one that I had was like it's so high up the leg and it looks like it's hugging his cheeks. This looks like it's like a nice diaper.
Nice, good cupping.
Yeah, it's cupping, not grabbing.
Yeah,
it's got to just round it out.
Who do we got next?
Number 8. We are here with John. I forget his middle name. Haynes, is it?
John Haynes Newton.
Thank you, John Haynes Newton. This is the dude that took over for Superboy, and I think
that does look good.
Is that not Superman? Like
that looks really good.
When you see this image, do you not go, man, that's Superman?
That's a really good Superman.
That is a solid suit. It pops. It's a little bit more filled out than the other guy. I think his jaw suits the cowl line better. Like not that cowl line, the cape line better. I think this is damn near perfect, and it looks good coming out from a button up too.
Yeah, I love it when it can feel classical but like tight fitting at the same time. Yeah,
this is Superman. Like that's a great suit. It's just it's not higher because it only had 2 years of run, and it's not a known thing. So I didn't want to be like my contrarian top 5. But like it's damn near perfect.
I've never heard of any of these until like today,
and it's great.
Yeah, there's so many more live action Superman than I remember.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next, buddy?
I think this is number 6.
1, 2,
Seven.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, number 7. So 10 up from the Man of Steel blue suit. I got number 7, the Man of Steel black suit.
I love this one.
I think this suit is really, really good. If you look at where the cowl attaches, that is near perfect.
Yeah.
If you look at the way the sigil and the S pops, that's amazing. The texture here works for me in the opposite way, where I didn't like the texture on the blue and red. I didn't like the muting on the blue and red. I love the muting and the texture on this suit because it looks like it's intentional. Like it looks like it's to charge him. You know, like it's almost solar power, like where you like solar panels have that texture. To me, this has that energy, but Kryptonian. So I love all the detail work. I love the silver popping from the black. I love that it's a matte finish, not like a too glossy. I think Cavill like looks powerful in it. It doesn't over detail. Like the oblique lines, because of the color of the suit, aren't as overwhelming. Everything I am bothered by with the Man of Steel suit goes away in the black one.
Well, it's similar to how I felt about the Brandon Routh one, like kind of having a bit of conflict of which way they wanted to go. That's kind of how I feel about the Man of Steel suit, even though I like that suit. Apparently, I would appear I like that one a lot more than you. But the Man of Steel suit, I get what you're saying of like, it kind of feels like it's a bit at odds with itself.
Yeah.
Like it wants to be bright, but it also wants to be like this dark, edgy
Dark and
thing.
gritty. This one's like, I'm dark.
But this one decides to just fully embrace this one thing and lean in. And because it feels more confident.
It's 100% more confident, and it feels like it doesn't need all the extra line work around the obliques and around the crotch to like distract from the lack of underwear.
You know who would have been great for this? Your fiance.
Oh my God.
Why did we not think of your fiance?
That is such a good point. That's such a good segment too.
Yeah, she would have been amazing for this.
Yeah.
I mean, can we say what she does for a living?
Oh yeah, my fiance is a stylist, like like a good,
Yeah.
like professional.
For like people you've heard of.
Yeah, she does good work for you've seen her outfits out there.
And a lot of times whenever we've talked about movies, she
Yeah.
often points out costumes.
And she looked like the costumes in the one that's out.
Yeah. Damn. I'm surprised this one's so high on your list.
Okay, let me explain myself. Coming in at number 6.
Okay, I gotta hear you out.
Coming in at number 6.
Let's hear this.
I will completely 100% own this is because it was a payoff moment. We waited 10 years to see this suit. And when it happened, it was immediately iconic. Because this suit was actually the iconic red, blue, yellow, because it had been teased for literally a decade with, like, he had a red jacket, he had a blue jacket. Like, the dude dressed like Superman in every way but Superman.
Yeah.
So when you've been, like, basically we were blue balls for 10 years. We were, like, edging. I was so sick of edging that when I finally blew, it was this.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, it's an orgasm. I got to like, yes, and all over the chest, and it's amazing.
Is it like original or did they use someone else's? That looks like they might have used someone else's. Am I wrong about that?
It vaguely looks like the Brandon Routh one, but chronologically, I don't know if that works.
Okay, but you were not going off of these costumes. This is the first one you're going off
Emotion.
of context,
100%
of
emotion.
story.
I'm going off of my connection visually. When I
experience.
see it, I go, yes.
Okay.
But if you're reading a comic and you're waiting for something, it's an origin story, and then you get to the moment, there's no matter what, you're gonna love.
Okay.
So I'll totally own this one is probably lower. But I
can't.
I can't put it lower because I love that this happened.
I mean, you don't even see the full thing.
You don't even see a cape.
This is an interesting discussion we're having right now. It sounds like if you didn't watch Smallville, this would be completely on the bottom of your list.
If I hadn't loved Smallville, it'd probably be number 17.
Like, it's weird how you're able to divorce yourself of the emotion with the ones you have seen.
Yeah.
But yet for this one, you're not able to.
Tom Welling, I was waiting for that face to have an S under it for 10 years. Like, you didn't watch the show, but like...
I watched the first, I only watched the first 6 seasons once. I don't remember.
So this was my Superman for a long time.
Yeah, no, you were like religiously.
I
I watched it
owned
because
them
I
all.
had a crush on a girl who was into it.
Kristen Crook. Oh, not... I had a crush on Kristen Crook.
There's an actual girl I knew in like junior high.
Kristen Crook was like my first crush. I'll
Yeah.
watch it with her to spend time. That's clever.
No, I didn't watch it with
Oh,
her.
it's just have something to talk about it?
I wanted, yeah, and then I never did talk. Then I just watched the show on my own.
I remember being that age.
Yeah.
Like when you were like, yeah, that'll be my excuse to have something to talk about. Never had that conversation.
Never happened. Now I'm just watching Smallville.
I had the opposite where Kristen Crook was my first crush. And then like for years, like
Yeah.
Kristen Crook, her and Shannon Sossman in like the early 2000s, late 90s, like good God, passionate love.
yeah.
And I hosted one of the Smallville reunion panels. So I
cool.
was with Kristen Cruick, Michael Rosenbaum, and Tom Welling. And
yeah.
Tom Welling the whole time was like, dude, you know so much about Superman. You should go on Mike's show. And like he was pitching me to Rosie. Like
That's cool.
every few minutes he'd be like, get him on your show. And it was so sweet. Like Superman was literally Clark Kent like buoying me. And I was like, He is Clark. And then Lex, I like have been at parties with and stuff because he's in like friend group and like stuff, and he's just like a bubble of fun, and he's so good at like being on stage. But Kristen hadn't done a lot of these yet. She does now. It's been like 3 years for doing a ton of these. But Kristen Kreuk was like adjusting to being with the boys and like talking Smallville. So she was like a little bit more like not meek, but like a little soft spoken with these loud two guys. And it was really cool to be the host that was like making sure like Kristen Kreuk got a couple moments, and I always pitching to her and like making sure she felt comfortable in that environment. And then afterward, she and I like talked about quantum theory and like mechanics of like our theory of simulation theory and like lots of deeply heady stuff. But she was like so appreciative that she felt comfortable on stage that she wanted to have a real talk about not just, but the whole time I kept being like, I'm talking a lot of Lang. Oh my God. And I usually can separate it, but there was no part of my brain that wasn't like, I love her still. Like 20 years had gone by and I was still like, I think this is what everything led to in my life. I worked so hard to have this moment. And she was so kind and sweet. Like it was.
She still looks great.
Oh my God.
She was in the first season of Reacher.
Stunning.
Yeah.
What a beautiful woman. And even kinder than Lana Lang. She's so sweet. Like I think she knew that I was like fucking boog, and she was fine with it.
This is great. If only we didn't have to film 4 more videos after this.
So the suit, all of that means that suit's higher up than it should be. All right, coming in at number 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, we're into our top 5. Coming in at number 5 is the iconic Tyler Hoechlin suit. This to me is the first time in modern superhero suits that I was like, oh, they found Superman suit.
Yeah.
Like you immediately recognize all the iconography. You immediately are drawn to the color palette. It is now the reason it's not top 4, a little muted, and I don't love the lack of undies, but I do like that the red does separate just enough to not feel like he's naked.
I feel like they succeed. I only interrupt because I know I have very little to contribute in this video. I think that they succeed where I thought Brandon Routh failed in terms of trying to be like a blend of classic and modernizing. This first season suit, I think, does a great job at blending classic with modern. I completely agree. You can also feel the muscle padding, but it doesn't feel like it's taking over Tyler Hoechlin's workout. Like you can, and that's an important distinction. I think the S is a little muted, but I think it also suits the tone of the show. I really love the cape. I really love how, again, confidence. That's huge for Superman. This is a very confident suit. It looks like a drawing. Like it's so awesome. So, and they fixed the clasp. Like see where the cape mounts? I don't know, man. I kind of like the Six Flags vibe.
Oh yeah? You want him to just suit up and go, but like that's the cape.
That looks great. Yeah. Who's number 4?
Coming in at number 4. This is where people are gonna get spicy again. Probably gonna be spicy low and spicy high. Christopher Reeve. This is Superman. Like this is what started the meme of like, what if Superman was real? And it's just Christopher Reeve like in the Superman suit. This is the comic come to life. This is what it looks like to see Superman. It is incredible. It's powerful. It feels commanding. It feels important. It feels like Americana. It feels like it feels like when you look at, this is going to sound weird, but like if you look at an image of the Statue of Liberty, the Grand Canyon, than this, like it's just like America and history.
Oh, it's statuesque.
So this is, to me, that's perfect.
I like too that the cape is the length cuts off at the boot.
Yes.
It's like the perfect.
He has a shorter cape than Batman, and a lot of people don't realize. Like canonically shorter cape. Because Batman uses his for fighting and he uses it to like, so he doesn't need to, he flies. Yeah. So I think of Superman with a slightly shorter cape, which I like that they nail.
Looks good. Who's number 3?
Number 3, this was tricky because Greg and I were building this list. We did movie and there was a moment of like movie TV and then we put them all together. Every time we came across this suit, I got giddy, and it is the first appearance of Superman suit. Tyler Hoechlin wearing that iconic cover of Action Comics. It's perfect. This I haven't even seen the show, but I've seen this scene 100 times because it makes me so joyous to see like them make a comic come to life. I think the underwear is the perfect ratio for not looking too silly. It's a little smaller than some of the underwear, but it doesn't look like a Speedo. I think that it is great definition of shoulders. I think the abs are a little silly, but they work because it's like it feels so energetically golden age.
Those aren't his actual abs?
I don't know if abs work through a suit that way. You see how there's a little dip on the left side where it's oblique?
I don't really know how suits work. Yeah.
I don't think the texture seems like a little. But I love the sigil. I love the pop of yellow around the black and red. I love where the cape is mounted. I love that the shade of blue is a little lighter to make it feel golden age. I love how it juxtaposes off the green of the car. It's perfect. I love this suit. It makes me giddy when I look at it.
All right. Down to the last 2. Okay, so my theory who your number 1 would be is not at all who I expected your number 1 to be. I thought who you have at number 2 would be your number
Really?
1. And I think this is going to surprise people of who your number 1 is and who your number. I mean, we might have, if people have been paying attention to the whole video,
and they're processing, they're
able
crossing
to
things out.
deduce what it is. But who's your number 2?
Coming in at number 2 is David Corenswet's suit. I love that it's a blue collar worker suit. The thing that makes this Superman so special is he's like a guy that is dealing with responsibility and he's not burdened by it. That makes the suit feel brighter. That makes the suit feel energetic, but it's got a cut that makes it feel like he's a guy that's like a union worker. He's a guy that's like got a job to do. This looks like a job for Superman, the suit. And I love the cape ratio. I love the slight boxer out of the boxer briefs. I love the belt. I love the color. I love the texture. I was a little hesitant when I heard that the Guardians of the Galaxy team was going to make the suit until I saw the first image where he's putting on his boots, and I was immediately like, oh, I get why they did. Because the suits in Guardians 3 are the first times we see the comic accurate Guardian suits, and they're very much a workman suit. And I was like, how's that going to work for Superman? Because my whole life has been spandex and like, or you know, classic Christopher Reeve. Like my brain couldn't. And then I was like, oh, he's a guy from Kansas that has a job to do.
It feels like a farm boy.
And when they put the boot photo out, to me, that first image, I've been giddy about this Superman since that first image. A lot of people didn't like the first image, but I immediately was like, new 52 collar, love it in this use. The Kingdom Come sigil reflecting a modern sigil blend, love this use. All the things, but with him putting on his boots just showed a guy that was the day at the office. And that's what this suit feels like without sacrificing who Superman is. And my favorite thing about this suit, above all else, is that looks like a sigil, not a Times New Roman S.
Yeah.
I hate when it's like, he's from Krypton. Why is he wearing a sans serif S? It doesn't make sense to me when someone like types it. And we've evolved in mythology over time. Superman came out 80 years ago. Superman is almost a century old. That made sense in that era to have a goddamn S on a man and call him Superman. We've entered many new eras since then. If that's supposed to represent his symbol, the L, house, it shouldn't be an S. We can't have the same idea of like, and this suit is the perfect modification of that S. It's the perfect colors. It's all the things I love, and it feels like a guy going to work.
Well, you see, the emotional association that you were talking about with Smallville, that's how I feel with this suit.
Yeah.
Because I think there's an actual... I think like Man of Steel is attempting it with its, like, oh, this is from Krypton, you're wearing it.
Yeah.
So they're trying to ingratiate it into the DNA of the storytelling. I understand. But the personability that this version of Superman is that I really identify with, and I feel like a lot of people will relate to, that's like a common thing, that made me love this. I didn't love the suit beforehand, but watching the movie, I fell in love with the suit because I saw it in the context of the storytelling and how it represents this character. Even though they don't do a whole speech about it, you get it. You get an idea. So yeah, like that's the one where I rank it higher because of my emotional association.
You just made me realize something about this suit that I hadn't put together till you just said it.
What?
A big thing that I love about David Corenswet's portrayal and James Gunn's portrayal is that it's a man who's so proud to be from Kansas and to be who he is. And I think a big thing that I didn't connect to personally with the Man of Steel idea is that he's so attached to his Kryptonian identity, he never lets it go to be someone that's from here.
Yeah.
And the suit represents that.
Yeah.
This suit represents here. And it also has that Tim Sale For All Seasons vibe where it's like a big, that's probably why he was never shirtless. Because if you see a guy with abs like Corenswet had, that's not approachable and like an everyman. You want someone to be like Tim Sale's like a big hulking like drawing.
Yeah.
If you suddenly show like sexy GQ Corenswet, you don't, you know what I mean? That's why he probably wasn't shirtless.
I think For All Seasons,
Two hands.
it really captured For All Seasons. And I think also our Superman too, like the way how he plays Clark
Yeah.
Kent. I'm like, oh, that feels very much For All Seasons. Anyway.
This feels like the suit Clark Kent would have.
Too much tangents.
And
Last one, number one.
I love that this surprised you. Number one is Brandon Routh's Crisis suit.
This is, I'll say really too, like it's also redemption for his performance too.
100%.
Did you ever see it?
I did.
Yeah.
I saw that.
He's actually really great in it.
It not only is redemption for performance, but also for his thong. This this is the right ratio of suit.
yeah.
Like, so remember when I said my biggest issue is when it's so close to perfect?
Yeah.
They made it perfect. And that's maybe why it's number one. This is a character that I saw Superman Returns in theaters. It was 2006. I was working at a movie theater. I saw that movie over and over and over again. And I love the airplane scene, but I didn't connect to a lot of other moments. Like, it didn't feel like what I wanted a Superman movie to feel like. It was fine. But I do remember thinking, like, I think Brandon Routh could be a great Superman. And like, I didn't think he'd ever come back in a show. I didn't think, then when he got cast as Adam, I was like, well, now it's never going to happen. And then through the power of multiverse, I knew what I was doing.
Oh, damn.
When you texted me, I Easter egged this whole video.
Had a DiCaprio moment.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute.
I waited this whole video.
What?
There's the thumbnail. But that's our third face is Leo. But it's but I think this is redemption. I think the S is better here. You'll notice it doesn't look like an S. It looks like a sigil. You'll notice the trunks are the right ratio. I love the belt with the trunks. I love the color. I think that blue really pops, but it also pops in a different way. We haven't seen this shade of blue yet. We've seen more pastel. We've seen darker. This blue is so rich and lived in because it's after Kingdom Come.
I can chew it.
It's got such density.
Yeah.
And so, like, look at the image, the fourth one in there. That was the first shot they released in publicity. That aura, good God, that is just such power. And then it looks even better in motion. Like, this suit to me is what it is when you trust your audience to know the history enough, but you're not reliant on them reading the comics. It's also Brandon Routh absolutely crushing it in the role. Like, every image of it looks awesome. Every lighting looks good. Everyone looks perfect.
They got this image here with Grant Gustin, Tyler Hoechlin, and Brandon Routh, and the clasp looks terrible here. Tyler Hoechlin, I'm like, oh.
Now you see what I'm saying?
Like,
Do you
really
see what I
stands. I'm
mean?
like, oh my God.
That's all I see.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I think Brandon Routh's suit, I love the dusty hair. I love the energy that he brings. I like the confidence in the suit. I really like the whole portrayal. Every shot of them side by side, your eyes go to Routh's suit.
Yeah.
And that's because it's so perfect.
Yeah. Oh, and I love the black.
Dude.
Oh my gosh.
Kingdom Come. This is the suit to me.
I only just bought Kingdom Come. I haven't read it yet.
That's a fun one.
I haven't read it yet. I'm reading Woman of Tomorrow right now, so I got to get
liking
through
it?
that. I'm a much slower reader than you.
70 a week.
And Man of Tomorrow, Woman of Tomorrow is smart. Like, this is
not a surface read. Smart.
Like, oh, I gotta like really pay attention to what I'm reading.
What's that word? I gotta Google this
I thought
word.
the images would take up enough.
No.
But it's like every little section there's a lot of words.
It's dense.
Yeah.
There's so many words in this comic. Thought I was just reading a comic. But yeah, number one with a bullet, Brandon Routh's Crisis suit, the Kingdom Come suit, and also just on a personal note, Brandon Routh getting redemption. Like, the dude is the sweetest. Like, he's one of those guys that is at a lot of Comic-Con events. He does a lot of appearances and he takes time with everybody. I've talked about it at a number of parties, and he's just such a good dude. I'm happy that he got to be Superman again and this, but that's separate of the suit. Like that I was able to separate that. He deserves to have this redemption, and the suit's perfect.
Well, Coy, I feel like there's enlightening for me.
Yeah.
I thought I would just be here and not, I mean, I didn't say anywhere near as much as you, but I didn't expect to actually be like, I feel like I'm learning.
Do you feel like
here.
you see some of the points like visually?
1,000%. No,
Okay.
every time you were speaking about it, I really felt like I started to understand more, and I think it's going to change my observant eye moving forward too with other stuff. And like, because I'm also into like color psychology, and I'm like, I haven't really been paying much attention to how shit makes me feel. With
huge,
the suits,
dude.
you know?
Yeah, color psychology is so important to a cost for a superhero.
Yeah,
like that's so important, and I feel like people don't talk about it a lot. And
Yeah.
and you were an actor and had done acting. Where did you ever do anything with costume work? Like, did you ever have an outfit that made you feel different?
I mean, it was more when I was like doing improv shit with John. Where I understand it though. I understand the idea. I've heard so many actors talk about it. Yeah,
that is a part of it for me
difference.
too. When I was an actor, I had a lot of different costumes, and I remember not fully feeling it, and then I put the costume on. So when I look at a suit, I try to think of how the actor feels in it too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what Johnny Depp used to when he was amazing at acting. I mean, depends on your opinion now, but yeah, there's the time where like the makeup and costumes. He would often work externally to affect him internally.
And that a suit is huge for that, because you're also seeing the page to screen on you.
Yeah.
Like Corenswet talked a lot about how he was like, designing the suit forever. Like he didn't design it. He was working with the designers forever and then putting it on. Like, it was over time. You piece it together. You didn't get your one big suit on moment. But he said when he saw other people see him in the suit, that's when he was like, oh. And so I've always found that interesting too, because other people are experiencing you as Superman. You're not.
Yeah.
So yeah,
very
interesting stuff. But yeah, I love this. This was fun, man.
This was fun. Thank you, Coy, for doing this. Yeah, guys, leave down below what is your favorite Superman suit. Put it in the comments. Where do you hate Coy in this video?
Pick up one. Pick which one you hate most.
Put it there. Yeah.
Go watch Smallville.
We're done. Bye.